Smile, everybody.
The meeting is live streamed. Here we go.
All right, we are live on our military to military comedy show. We host this thing twice a week, once on Saturday and once on Sunday. I'm not sure what time it is on the Pacific Coast. I think it's 11, but here in Central Time Zone, we are at 1 o'clock or 1300 for you military types. We have a great show lined up for you, man. We have Linda Marquez, we have Liz Frizzis. I can't even say her name. We have Liz, and we have Dave Scott. These guys are champions in both their military careers and on the comedy stages. But before we jump into them, they said I get to kick it off, so I'm going to introduce myself to you. I am Chris Crawford. I have a couple different things going, man. I am a veteran, I'm a parent, and I'm a teacher. Now, I say that I'm a veteran, and I think that's a given, military for military, but you got to understand, I am a very special kind of veteran. I'm the type of veteran that believes the word veteran should never be abbreviated to the word vet. You see, vet can mean so many things. It can mean prior service member. It can mean animal doctor. It can mean Corps vet. It can even mean a person who has a lot of experience in their profession. Now, my father-in-law, he was in the service. So was his dog. So in theory, I, as a vet, can help a vet, take a vet to the vet and a vet, like a vet. Oh, man. You guys looking at me like, how did I get on the show? And I'll tell you, I was vetted. No, like I said, I am actually married. And gosh, man, so lucky. I married up, I'll tell you that. I'm going on 11 years of happy matrimony. But I'll tell you, I've learned a thing or two during that time. Did you know that married people have different nicknames than single people? For instance, I'm not sweetie, I'm not honey, I'm not baby, I'm not babe. Nah, my wife, she calls me somebody. It's nice. Of course, she never says it directly to me. She'll walk into an empty room, declare somebody should mow the lawn, or somebody should do the dishes, or maybe somebody should go change that baby's diaper. Oh man, I do it all because, gosh, I love my wife. But you know, spouses, they can be pretty demanding. For instance, a while back, my wife asked me if I would care to learn a second language with her. I told her, heck no. Sounded like a lot of work. 3 days later, she asked me again, and I knew it was going to be a thing. So I told her, yeah. Would you believe she let me pick the language? So I chose something that would be completely viable to me here in Texas. I chose Italian. Okay, so not very viable at all, but I worked at it for about a week. It was as tough as I thought it would be. So I quit. But before I did, I took a test that told me I'm exactly 1.9% fluent in Italian. I'll say that qualifies me to teach you a thing or two, to give you some words. You guys ready to learn some Italian? All right. David, Liz is with me. All right, everybody, here we go. Check it out. This is for you. Figaro, 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 Figaro. Now, I'm not sure who or what that guy was singing about, but I'd like to believe it's that cat from Pinocchio. Maybe I just like kittens, but I didn't come to talk about that. I came to give you some words. Let's start with ciao. I don't mean the dog you grew up with or the food that you ordered. I mean CIAO. You see, in Italy, it means both hello and goodbye. Try that mess in America. Walk up to somebody, let them say hi to you. Look back at them and say goodbye. Straight jerk move, not cool. You'll not be friends. However, in Italy, you can walk up to somebody and say ciao. They'll look back at you and say ciao. Now, he could be the nice guy in the world or a straight up jerk. You don't know the difference. Kind of cool, kind of messed up at the same time. Well, let's move on to another word. Prego. Yeah, I just rolled the R, trying to sound sexy as all get out. I don't normally say it like that, though. I normally say it like this. Prego. And half the room will believe I'm talking about a pregnant woman. The other half might believe I'm talking about that pasta sauce you find over in aisle 12. Well, you might be surprised to learn that it does not mean pasta sauce and does not mean pregnant woman. What it means is you're welcome. Now, with that in mind, let's think back to that pasta sauce for a second. How it just sits there, knowing it's so darn good, it gives you a preemptive, you're welcome, right across the label. Prego. Prego, indeed. Seems kind of arrogant if you ask me. But you know, I like that kind of swagger, so much so that I let it inspire my first tattoo, right across my chest. Prego. That way, when I'm frolicking on the beach, walking very manly with my shirt off, anybody that sets eyes on me will know that my body welcomes their gaze. However, it's possible they don't see the same sexy beast of a man that I see every day in the mirror. They may see my pale, flat chest, slightly swollen gut, read my tattoo and think, yep, prego, definitely prego. Oh, man. Oh, that hurts so bad. But let's get off of that for a second. Let's talk about the other thing I do is I told you I was a veteran. I am a husband and I am a teacher, and I am. And I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you one of the things I learned about the Italian language is it is a really great sounding language. But my students come in and they make it evident that the English language is inferior to every other language. So all languages in comparison to English sound amazing. You see, they truncate our words. They take our words and turn them into acronyms, or they'll take a word that used to mean this and make it now mean this. And I pick up on it and I go home and I practice on my daughter. I tell my daughter, your eyebrows are on fleek. That means they look good. No cap. That means I'm not lying. She thinks that I'm OD, which means I'm overdoing it. I need to change my drip, which means stop, Dad. I don't care how she feels though, because I think that she is lit. And that last word is the most interesting to me. You see, I'm old enough to have seen its entire evolution. When I was a kid, it was legitimate. And then it was legit. And then it was too legit to quit. Now the kids say lit. For half a second, they just drove the word litty. Nobody liked that, so they went back to lit. And I'm glad they did. You see, compared to litty, I think that lit sounds pretty damn legit. I'd even say it's too legit to quit. Sounds legitimate to me. But always putting in work up here, guys. Oh, man. No, it is a trip, man. I love being a vet. I love being a husband. I love being a father, and I love being a teacher. My life is pretty blessed, and it's been a real blessing to be with you guys here today. And my next blessing of the day is actually to introduce a very, very funny comedian, the person who puts all of this together, my co-host for today, Linda Marcus Smith.
Let me see if I can remember how to ping myself. Yeah, there we go. She did it. Yay.
Woo! Boomer power.
Hi, guys. Listen, a couple of things. I get it. I smile too much. I've been told over and over, don't smile so much. But you know, when you're always confused for Marilyn Monroe, you can't use resting bitch face. I'm sorry. I got to smile. You don't want to see this. You just don't want to see this. You don't even notice this when I'm smiling too much. So there you go. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have been so busy. I'm sure you've heard. I've been busy aging. That's what I've been doing. My gosh, I had a birthday and I turned 21. Woo! Again, woo! For the third time. Oh my gosh. Plus about none of your business. Yeah. I don't give it away anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. It was so weird because when I tell people exactly how old I was, they say, well, you look good for your age. And I'm like, that is so not a compliment. You took away the compliment by ending it with a stupid prepositional phrase. So now your night's not ending with no proposition. There you go. Oh yeah, compliments. You know, Chris was talking about how old he is, and I was thinking, yeah, you're so old, Chris. But the compliments you get when you get to this age of old, oh my gosh. Some guy told me I was aging backwards. I couldn't help but smile too much because I didn't know that Benjamin Button was a sex symbol. Now I do. Wasn't the pandemic really weird, you guys? I mean, besides being scary, it was weird. I took a look at my little refrigerator. I rented this apartment because my fridge is shorter than me. I'm 5'2", and I look over my refrigerator. I had to get the apartment. Well, when the pandemic hit, I look at this little fridge and I said, I'm going to eat everything in there. They told us we shouldn't travel. So I ate everything in the fridge and sent my hips abroad. They have their own area code, zip code. They have it all. My hips have really taken off more than my career, unfortunately. Yeah. You know, I got kind of bored in the pandemic. I'm not going to lie. Was it a lot of time or what, you guys? Oh my gosh. At first, it was kind of fun. You know, And then I started ordering Amazon to drop off boxes of toothpicks, you know, because I had enough time to verify the count in every box. And now Walmart wants me to be a greeter. Great. This is what I want. Welcome to Walmart. How may I help you? Get me a job that isn't too difficult. Walmart greeter is tough, being nice to people, but at least I could use my smiling too much skill. Hi, welcome to Walmart. How may we help you? That would be it. Yeah. I like messing with people. It's the funnest thing to do ever. Oh my gosh. Like New Yorkers. Have you seen this thing, New Yorkers? I like to tell them, I'm from the Upper West Side. And they're like, huh? You know, huh? And I'm like, no, not the good one. Upper West Side of the US map, Oregon. Yeah. Oh, let me talk about Oregon. I could go on for days. I got enough dirt on that place. Oregon used to be very quiet and serene in the 50s when I was born. Okay, well, maybe serenely racist, but they fixed it. Now it's passive aggressive racist. Isn't that better? And my town, Portland, I'm sure you've never heard of it in the news at all lately. They decided to really, really keep it weird in Portland lately, did they not? The town of Keep It Weird. They have a deer statue, and they caught the deer statue on fire. So now at least Portland can say the buck does stop there. Yeah. You know, when I grew up in Portland and I came of age, I decided to do something really amazing. Shoplift. Yeah, I went out shoplifting. I almost made a 5 and dime store turn into a non-profit. Have you guys ever been so good at something you had to quit? What's up with that? You know, most people don't quit when they get good, but I did, you know, because I'm a good person. And I even went back to pay restitution, and they were so sweet. They told me, just don't come back. That was cool. Now my town, Portland, is very, very progressive. Look at me. Do I scream progressive? I wouldn't even get on the phone to save money on car insurance. I wouldn't, because I don't drive. And I don't even know my stance on price guns. So why would I do that? It would be confusing. Yeah. So, you know, I get that young people just want to call us boomers, you know, I get it. Okay, boomer, it's, you know, kind of a put down, and I'm not upset at young people. But what I am upset about is that they call us the people they want to just do a lot of curl ups. Oh, wait, they want us to curl up and die already. That's what it is. I'm not going to die. I'm going to stick around and give you young girls a run for your money. I'm going to wear prom gowns and really high heels and prance up and down the streets of Vegas and like a city streetwalker with a Fitbit. My idea of a good day in this Sin City is when casino security steps up to me and says, "You're Marilyn, aren't you?" Yes, that's a good day for me. Thank you so much, you guys. I'm Linda Marcus Smith. And now back to Chris.
Oh my gosh, Linda, always bringing it. Always so funny, man. Unbelievable. Every single time. Now, actually, we have a amazing comedian coming right up after this young lady. This is going to be one of our representatives, another one of our representatives from the Veterans of Comedy. Please put your hands together, all you Zooland people out there. Get ready for the humorous stylings of one David G. Scott.
Woo! Thank you, Chris. Yeah, well, thank you, Linda. That was really, really clever. I would never say to you, "You look good for your age." I would never say that. What I would say is, "You look good for what you've been through." Totally different. So the other day, my cousin Jared came over and he said, Jared, how's it going? Haven't seen you. And he said, yeah, I was in the neighborhood. Thought I'd drop by. What are you doing? I said, funny, you should ask. I'm on my way to a movie. Would you like to come along? He said, I'd love to come along. Let me get in my car. And I said, no, you don't, no need. It's just a short walk. It's just a what? A short walk. He said, what is a short walk? What? I'm familiar with the mountain walk and the prairie walk. In fact, I think I saw a prairie walk outside Omaha. Beautiful plumage. What are you talking about? The short walk. Okay, as long as we're on the same page. Anyway, easy to get to. Just go out the door and head up Dewey Street. Head up what? Dewey Street. I don't know. You don't know? No, I don't know how to street. What are you talking about? You said we go out the door and head up Dewey Street. Yeah. I don't know how to street. No, not how to street. Dewey Street. I don't know. Why not? I just told you. He said, look, let's not go to a movie, all right? Let's stay here and watch TV. You got Netflix? I said, calm down. Take it easy. Anyway, once we get to the corner, we take a left, right. I said, no, if you take a right, you're going to be left behind. What? If you go right, you're going to be left. I said, so I go left, right. I said, so I go right. I said, if you go right, you'll be wrong. So I go left. I said, right. He said, look at me. I don't want to go to a movie. I don't want to watch Netflix. Why don't we play cards? You got some cards. I know hearts. Just take it easy. Take it easy. Because we're almost to the theater. I said, well, that's good news. What is the name of the theater? It's called the We Don't Walk Theater. The what theater? We don't walk. How do we get there? We walk. He said, how about this? How about if I just punch in the face? I said, calm down. I tell you what, you tell me how to get there. He said, oh, this is a waste of time right there. I said, you tell me how to get there. You'll see. He said, all right. First thing he started talking about was a bird, the short walk. Why? I'll never know. Anyway, you head out the door, walk out the door and head up. Dewey Street? I don't know. I don't know how to street. We get to the corner. I go right to be left, a left to be right, a right to be wrong. At this point, I don't know where I am. Nonetheless, we proceed to walk till we don't walk. I said, perfect. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I do know this. If we ever get there, I'm going to strangle you. What? I'm going to strangle you. That is the name of the movie. Anyway, here recently I was in Maine. If you've never been to Maine, you should definitely go. It's beautiful. While I was there, I went to an exhibition of the state horse, which is a Morgan. I was over there talking to the guide and I asked him if there's a leader of this group of horses, leader of the pack. And he said, yeah, it's that big stallion over there. I said, so that's the main horse of all of Maine's horses. He said, cute. That's cute. I said, what do you call the hair on the back of his neck? It's beautiful. He said, that's called a mane. I said, so that's the mane on the main horse for the state of Maine. He said, clever. Clever. He said, I noticed he has some knots tied in his hair, and some of the horses have their hair braided. Is it like that all the time? He said, well, most of the time, but 1 month out of the year, we take out the knots and the braids and just let their hair relax. I said, what month is that? And he said, well, typically the month of May. I said, let me understand this. If I tied knots in horses' hair for a living, you would tell me that in the month of May, I would not be permitted to tie knots in the hair of that stallion. That's right. But the rest of the year, I would be permitted to tie knots in the mane of the main horse for the state of Maine. You got it. So in May, I may not knot the main. But if it's not May, I may not the main. And he said, what? Well, in May, I may not the main, but if it's not May, I may not the main. And then he said something that surprised me. He said, security, get this guy out of here. He's being an ass. I said, an ass? I thought we were talking about horses. Anyway, a little bit about me and the time I have left. Every morning, two cute little ducks come visit me on my patio, and I started giving them bread. My friend Don said, don't do that. If they eat too much bread, they'll get sick and die. I said, I know. I hate ducks. Got an Apple Watch. First day I had it, I wore it to bed. Next morning at 7 o'clock, it said, it buzzed and said, get up. I said, what? No. Apparently it monitors my breathing and my heart rate. So I nicknamed it Santa Claus because it knows when I'm sleeping. It knows when I'm awake. But if it ever figures out if I've been bad or good, I'm going to throw it in the lake. Oh, you better not come. Whoever said words can't hurt me has never been hit with a dictionary. Let's all just take a moment to be grateful that our internal organs don't itch. Yesterday, I helped an old man across the street by repeatedly honking at him. I started saying I'm allergic to foods I don't like. It's just easier. I love waking up in the morning to the sound of birds arguing with their spouses. My cousin is starting a small piano store. Very excited. Next week is the baby grand opening. You know who you never see together in public? Papa John and his son, Jimmy.
Oh.
What exactly is a cold-blooded killer? Someone who murders reptiles? And Liz knows this. She's an Air Force vet. It's always a good idea to go above and beyond. Unless you're trying to land an airplane on an aircraft carrier. It's not good at all. Here's an interesting fact. If you laid an adult blue whale on a football field with its nose on one goal line, you'd have to postpone that game. In nursing homes, the code word for toilet is mustard, specifically gray poupon. My name is David. I did not name my son David. I wished I'd named him Harley, because then he could introduce himself as Harley, David's son. My cousin's band has trouble getting gigs. I blame the name they've chosen for the band, which is Closed for Repairs. It's particularly tough when they perform with their favorite band, Plumbing Problems. Because then on the marquee it reads, tonight only, closed for repairs with plumbing problems. And here's some disturbing news. I recently found out I'm pregnant. At least that's what the sign said on my parking spot at the grocery store. Let me see, just a few more here. If I only had one word to describe myself, it would be not very good at following directions. My two favorite kinds of songs are love songs and songs that welcome me to the jungle. The other day, I ate an entire can of Pringles. I was very disappointed. There were only 3 of them, and they were all tennis ball flavored. Shout out to my 4 favorite bags: punching, grab, barf, and Papa's got a brand new. Ain't no drag. And finally, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I cannot remember how many times I say things. I'm David G. Scott. I do clean comedy. Check out my website, davidgscottcleancomedy.com.
But
Thank
what's
you.
the name of your book?
My name, oh, you were very kind. Thank you, sir. The name of my book is Clothes for Repairs with Plumbing Problems. And now you know the source of that title.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Thank you. Yeah, that's available through Amazon or your favorite online bookseller.
All right, awesome. Thank you, David G. Scott. You're God, such a one-line, so quick, so clean, so awesome, so tight. Always, always impressive. I say always a lot, guys, because we have almost a regular set of comics with a few additions. Special guests and with a special guest and an assortment of other very, very high-end comics coming from all over the country to perform right here on this Zoom every Saturday and every Sunday. Remember earlier I said it was at 1300 on both days for the non-military type, for the people who have been out of the military so long they forgot what that meant. That is Central Time, 1300 or 1 p.m. If you're in the Pacific, it is going to be 11. All right, so I'm going to touch on this. I am a little bit new at the hosting portion of this. So I forgot to tell you earlier, we have an awesome sponsor, AHA Broadway. And in case you guys don't know, for our veteran comedians out there, or just really any comedian, I'm not sure that everybody gets the same rate, but I know the veterans get a pretty good deal. They get to go out. You can find out more about AHA Broadway, and that is where they will actually teach you different aspects of comedy as far as delivery and writing. I think even marketing. They teach you almost the entire business of it if that's something that you are interested in learning. So go get schooled up, go get educated, and get a little bit better at the craft. And who knows, maybe one day make a living off the craft. All right, AHA Broadway. Those are our sponsors, and thank goodness that they're here, because that means that some of our guys are going to get paid for this tonight. And I think eventually all of us. What? Money is good. Green is the root of all that is good, because that helps us bring smiles to your face. All right. Now, that's the end of that commercial piece. But little did I know, man, Linda brought the wordsmithing, and good God, David G brought the wordsmithing. And I know Liz is good with it, and I have a little bit more time, time to kill. So I'm going to try and throw a little bit in here. I want to tell you that I've become a real fan of words that are used at wineries, because they are very fancy, very fluffy. Again, they're not big on the English language, but they use words like Gewürztraminer or Sauvignon Blanc or Sangria or Pinot Grigio. None of this is English. But when it comes to the actual product itself, they keep it simple, stupid for us Americans. They call it wine. We can say it, we can pronounce it, we know what it is, we love it. But did you know that a wine that is aged in an oak barrel is called an oakie? True. Now, a fine oakie is a wine I would care to taste. An okie dokie oakie is wine I could buy by the case. But also, a guy from Oklahoma is known as an okie. So I say that to tell you that I could have an okie dokie okie with an okie dokie okie, and that'd be okie dokie by me. Oh man. Oh, too much, too much. I'll tell you something else that's too much. Is I recently had a buddy tell me that he was not an extrovert. Not an extrovert. But I think he's wrong. You see, I am 5'11". I think I'm standard vert. He's taller than me. He's got to be extrovert. I have a cousin. She's shorter than me. I know that she's subvert. She uses a step stool. We call that an advert. But did you know if I step onto the advert, I too can be an extrovert? Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I got. I'm just throwing words out of my mouth now, but I think it's fun. And for someone who is a great extrovert and also great at throwing words out of her mouth is coming to you from Arizona today. We have the one and only Liz Frizzis.
Keep
Say
it
your
going
name.
for your host, Chris Crawford.
Yay.
Yes, my name is Liz Fresius, and no, there are no E's and no Z's in Fresius. What you guys may not realize is I stand 6'2" in my boots.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm married to a man.
Extrovert.
Yeah, he's 6'5". His name's Richard. So the rumors are true. I have a big dick.
Yes.
See, I'm jealous, Linda. You got a hometown. I'm a Navy brat. I grew up in the Navy. And Chris, for you especially, according to the Military Dictionary of Terminology, brat, noun, the legitimate offspring of military personnel, thought to be precocious, ubiquitous, underfoot, and insubordinate. See, civilians get hometowns. Linda got Portland. I got a map, a compass, and a personalized game of Where's Waldo. I went to 6 different schools before 1st grade. My teachers couldn't figure out why I was reciting the French alphabet with a Texas accent. By kindergarten graduation, I got voted most likely to be the new kid. You guys got Sesame Street. I got The Nightmare on Sesame Street. Built-in bullying. One of these things is not like the others. One of these things just doesn't belong. You guys get to go to high school reunions. I have to pay $8,000 to get to every single high school I ever freaking went to. So of course, after 18 years of that, I turned around and joined the Air Force. Okay, the Air Force Academy is a weird place. Not only is it a military installation and a university, it's also a tourist attraction. We call it the Blue Zoo for a reason. Didn't realize how serious it was because they take 4,000 of us and parade us in front of the tourists every single day. Then we realized that the general officers had hung up a sign that says, please don't feed the cadets. 4 years of that and you get a degree in how to do great things. Hey, I love being military. I make a lot of jokes about it, but I love being in the military. The toughest thing is explaining to your civilian family members what your military job is. So we go back, and my husband and I are visiting my husband's relatives, and here's Aunt Vera. 3 sheets to the wind enlisting. Liz, I haven't seen you in so long. Where you keeping yourself? I said, well, Richard and I are still in the Air Force. What's he do? I said, he flies tankers for a living. What's that? It means he refuels other aircraft. Oh, so he's a gas station attendant, is he? Well, my Jimmy was just made night manager of Circle K. Richard needs to quit being a bum. He needs to go into management. Do you got any kids? No, I'm a squadron commander. I've got troops, and they wreck the cars and knock up the girlfriends the same as any teenagers. Well, my Jimmy just had his 6th. Oh, goody. Jimmy is a total deadbeat. He's got 5 different girlfriends. He doesn't pay child support for any of those kids. Oh, yeah, it's a biblical thing. How you figure? Well, the Bible says be fruitful and multiply. It doesn't say anything about paying child support. Yeah, I absolutely love being military, but the worst part of it, like an idiot, I got out last year. And they'd send us to training, for those of you who are in the military, TAP, Transition Assistance Program. And they sent us to training to try and teach us how to be civilians. I did so badly, I got sent to remedial training. The HR guy sits me down. He says, Liz, what are you good at? I said, killing and bombing. He said, stand-up comedy. I said, sign me up. See, most comics you meet nowadays, they're half my age. They're worried about disappointing their parents. I got to disappoint the entire Department of Defense. Actually, I did manage to disappoint my mom. I turned 50 last year, and my mom gave me a t-shirt for my birthday that says, "Pissing off the entire planet one person at a time." Who's she kidding? After half a century, you'd think she'd quit underestimating me. I can piss off an entire country in 5 minutes or less, so your next war is free. I even managed to piss off my mother-in-law on my wedding day. She caught me at the center of the aisle and says, "Your two sisters seem so normal." So do her 12 ex-husbands.
Yeah.
I'm not taking marriage advice from somebody who has upgraded their spouse more than their cell phone. It's like taking advice from the Cubs on how to win the World Series.
Yeah.
You might get there after 100 years of trying, but in the meantime, you're cursed with an old goat, a cork bat, and a couple of condemned balls. Oh, yeah, it's tough being out. In Arizona, I don't know how this is going for you guys. Do they legalize marijuana in the states you guys are in? Nope. Yep. Okay. So we got 2 no's and a yes. Here's the thing. Arizona just legalized marijuana.
Wow.
Well, the problem is, prior to that, Arizona was known for 2 things: potholes and assholes. And nowadays, with the legalization of 420, when a pot-headed asshole hits a pothole, it's the ass's fault that the asphalt put a hole in the pothead's hide. I will say I did struggle getting out of the military a lot. They tell you when you get out, find something you're passionate about, something you feel strongly about. I joined the women's movement. Have you met these ladies? They told me we were going to combat the stereotype of the over-emotional, irrational female by screaming through the streets with knitted vaginas on our heads. Who planned this? Warner Brothers on an acid trip? I thought I do a putty hat. I did do a putty hat. After a while, just wanted to grab them by the putty hat and smack their skulls together to see if I could spark a brain cell. Honest broker. Yeah, or as we would say in the military, open kimono. I totally messed up at the Women's March in Baltimore. We were talking equal rights. I suggested universal draft registration. I got front row seats to Pussy Riot. Okay, I will admit, I don't know a lot, but there's a couple things I know to be absolutely true. A football is not a baseball is not a soccer ball, and a pretzel stick is not a pretzel. It's a stick. What is a stick? A stick is something you cram down somebody's throat at the baseball game or the football game or the soccer game because they won't shut up. Who are these idiots who came up with a pretzel stick? This is the guy who was, eating paste in first grade class.
Right.
This is the guy who thought Avo was a good idea. This is the person who thought that parachute pants were the cutting edge of fashion back in the 1980s.
That's it.
The worst thing about it is everybody seems to be getting on board. All the pretzel companies are getting on board. You look at Utz, you look at Rolled Gold, you look at combos. What is Utz anyway? The sound of somebody, gasping after I stab them with a pretzel stick. Utz! And Rolled Gold? What exactly is Rolled Gold? Sounds like a condom. You can roll a car, you can roll a joint, you can have a roll in the hay, but you cannot roll a pretzel. Pretzel's folded. It used to be considered a reward. It was in prayer. It's now a modern day of communion. Back then, it was a wafer and a glass of wine. Nowadays, it's beer and a pretzel. And the guy's in the bar praying that his wife doesn't catch him. Rolled Gold. Some Goldschlager of condoms. Although here's the thing, there is such a thing as a pretzel roll. But at the end of the day, you look at a combo. And what is a combo? That's what you get when a pretzel stick copulates with a hot pocket. Now, see, the interesting thing about pretzels, you actually can get vegan pretzels. They're basically made out of water and flour. So unfortunately, as I found out from my mother-in-law, found out later, her biggest objection to me is the fact that she's a vegan. I'm not. She's convinced I'm Lady Macbeth. Can somebody please tell her she doesn't have to eat every mushroom in the forest? It's entirely possible for a couple to have dietary differences and still have a happy relationship. Just look at Barbie and Ken. We all know Ken's meatless. My mother-in-law comes over, she says, no, you don't understand. It's not just the diet, it's the lifestyle. We're going for the domino effect. With the way this woman cooks, it's more like the dominoes effect, because it all tastes like cardboard. She says, we've got all sorts of options. We've got chlorella, we've got spirulina, we've got ashwagandha. Do you think she could take penicillin for that? She says, no, you don't understand. Even the candy companies are on board. They're sending a strong message. Given that your vegan options include airheads, crybabies, and dum-dums, I think they're saying you are what you eat. Yeah, after my husband and I retired, we actually moved out here to Phoenix, Arizona, and it's just an incredible place because everything out here bites, scratches, stings, burns, or is poisonous, including your Tinder date. Hey, I'm 50 years old. When I was a kid, we used Tinder to burn things. Hasn't changed. See, they did an interview recently with a bunch of young ladies and said, hey, would you really date a 30-year-old man who lives with his mom? The response came back, no, but we'll date a 30-year-old man who lives with his wife. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. I'm Liz Fresius. Have a wonderful night. And keep it going for your host, Chris Crawford.
Oh, holy smokes, man. I wish we had everybody that sees this, I know is going to laugh. And I really wish we had a little bit of a live audience here, because this is what I want to hear every time, because you guys are so funny and you deserve to hear something like this. Or maybe something like this. Oh yeah, that one's good. That one's good. Yeah. You think that I'm new to the Zoom thing? I got my own little laugh button. I've just been polite enough not to use it. It's really annoying. Guys, Liz, you guys are so funny every single time. I do want to highlight again the fact that we do this every Saturday and every Sunday for the Central Time. We do it at 1 o'clock East Coast. We do it at 2 o'clock. For Pacific Time, we do it at 11 o'clock. And all the time, doesn't matter when we do it with the support of AHA Broadway. And like I said before, they help our veterans get their act together and come out here and do what we do, because we all have booming stories. We have a great shared heritage and past, and there's so much comedy found in it. Go and find your voice. Come out here, tell us your stories, because we want to laugh at you too. I mean, laugh at your stories. I mean, we want to laugh with you. That is it. We want to laugh with you. Now, while we're here, I think we got a little bit more time, and I think when we talk about stories, I told a couple stories yesterday. I'm not going to redo those. I'm going to make you wait for those. But I am going to say that we all have basic training stories, with the same exception of Liz. She puts her pinky in the air and drinks from her Yeti coffee. And she's just like, I have Air Force college stories. I am an officer. So we'll hear the officer side, we'll hear the enlisted side, but I want to hear something from the very beginning, go all the way back to the start. Let's hear something out of David first. By the way, Linda, on yours, keep it clean. I know that in the 70s, they were kind of brutal. 70s. I'm being so generous. All right. Talk to me, David.
Thank you. We had 4 squads in our platoon, our training platoon, and there were 4 jobs. One was to pick up cigarettes, one was around the barracks, one was to go down to the store, the convenience store, and pick up cigarettes and clean up around the store. One was to buff the floors, and one was to clean the bathrooms. And my squad drew cleaning the bathrooms. Well, by the time we were done, we could clean the bathroom so quickly and so well, we would be in and out in about 15 minutes or less and pass inspection every day. So it came time to rotate. We said, we'll keep doing bathrooms if you want. And they said, yes, you keep doing bathrooms. So we were out on the deck smoking cigarettes, throwing them into the ground, pointing to the guys like picking up cigarettes. I even missed one. The one morning, here's the story. This absolutely happened. I'm clean. They had to leave one toilet that nobody used, so that during inspection in the morning, you knew that one is clean, and so you just had to clean the other one. So I'm down on my hands and knees cleaning the other one, and this big butt comes and drops down right on the toilet that was not supposed to be used. And I said, son of a bitch. I looked up, it's the captain. And he looks down at me and says, you don't have to clean this one this morning, Troop. Thank you, sir.
Awesome, man. Basic training stories are the best. You never know what they'll say. I had one during mail call. I don't know how clean or how squeaky we are. I think Liz was a little bit naughty, so I think I can get away with this. We had during mail call, we had somebody blow up the room. Flatulence, we'll call it flatulence. That's a nice word. Now, and it stopped everything. Like the guy was like, "Who did it?" And the guy, he called him out, and the first thing he did is he said he stood the guy up and he told him to go into the stall and scream as loud as he could until mail call was over. This is the bathroom. This is where I fart. This is the bathroom. This is where I fart. And that's all we heard, just echoing through the chambers. This is the bathroom. This is where I fart. This is the bathroom. This is where I fart. And now I have no doubt that the bathroom is where I am meant to fart. I guess that's another thing I learned at basic training. Not sure how I didn't know it before that time. We're going to see what kind of shenanigans Liz has gotten into in basic training. Or I'm sorry, whatever it is, the hell they call it.
Actually, we did have beasts. So here's the thing. Recall, just the first day you got your drill instructors out there and they're trying to call roll. And of course, names, as you can figure out with the last name like Fresius, gets a little interesting. So the guy's up there and he's stumbling and he's struggling. Blah, 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 blah. Sir, it's pronounced Lazinski. Lazinski. Sir, it's pronounced Maternowski. Maternowski. Sir, it's pronounced Mazurowski. Mazurowski. Son of a bitch. No, sir, it's pronounced Narbutowicz. So yes,
Awesome.
roll call, always fun.
All right. Is that it? You got something more? Come on, Liz.
Oh.
I know, Liz. I'm gonna let you out of here with 30 seconds.
Here's the situation. I am an enlisted brat. I'm an enlisted brat who grew up in the Navy. I jump ship 2 directions. Bad juju if you're a Navy brat. You do not jump ship. You do not get commissioned. You do not go in the Air Force. So I am the disgrace of my family. I am the absolute disgrace of my family. And the bizarre thing about it is every single rank from basic trainee up through, no kidding, after I got out of the military and was in comedy, I have been called Sergeant Fresius at every single rank, from basic trainee up through up through retirement. And one of my commanders, I got busted. I will admit, I got nailed to the wall for fighting. Probably the less said about that, the better. Yes, I got slapped up with contempt, disrespect, insubordination, and conduct reflecting minor poor judgments. Yeah, don't get into a fight with one of your upperclassmen. She punched me in the rib cage and I heaved her across the hall.
Excellent.
So yeah, I'm out there. Okay, I'm gonna date myself horribly. I'm out there marching with an M1 rifle on my shoulder, and I had 20 hours of marching, 20 demerits, and a month confinement to campus. And so the guy's out there and he's calling the roster. And what are you out here for? You know, this violation. What are you out here for? This violation. What are you out here for? This violation. Frasius, what are you out here for? Sir, contempt, disrespect, insubordination, and conduct reflecting poor judgment. The guy just sits his clipboard down, looks at me and says, damn, what did you do? I'm supposed to say that, was I? I can't, I'm not
No,
supposed
you're
to
good.
say
You're good.
that.
Insubordinate. We know this now. Air Force
Well, like I
brat.
said, what is the definition of a Navy brat? Precocious, ubiquitous, underfoot, and insubordinate.
There you go.
Yes, yes. Oh man, no. Actually, they say that when you go through basic training, every generation believes that they had it harder than the next. A lot of people believe that it's very cush now. In the 90s, I think that they were kind of mean to me. But you talk about the 70s, I think that they were actually not. They weren't supposed to strike you with their hand, but they'd get right there and just bludgeon your head as they spoke very aggressively, hitting you with the brim of their hat until you had small trickles of blood from your forehead. I realize that there's weird stuff out there. I'll give you one more of mine, and then we're going to turn it over to Linda and let her tell her stories and walk us on out of this door. All right. So I'll tell you a little bit later in basic training, you're getting ready to graduate. Now you're wearing blues. You don't wear blues until that day is almost coming. And you're kind of proud of yourself, and you're walking around, you know that you have figured the game out. You're ready to leave. Now, you're even bold enough that you can get dessert because you know how to do so without getting destroyed. Now, I walked right in front of the snake pit, and I did one of those and I was about to get out of there, man. I took a left face. I was gone, right? And then you heard the magic thing. Training! 9 people turn around. You're like, don't pick me, don't pick me, don't pick me. You, get over here. Like he played Mortal Kombat with Scorpion. And so I go going over there, and I stand at the position of attention. And he says, Trainee, what the hell was that? Left facing movement. So, he gave a recording statement, left facing movement. Boom. He's just like, the hell it was. If I ever see anything like that again, I swear to God, I will rip your arms off and beat you to death with the bloody ends of them. He's trying to, at this point, he's trying to make me break bearing because that's what they do. And I gave him a recording statement. I gave him the affirmative that I understood what was going on. And he said, he just left me there. He turned to somebody else. He stopped another airman. He said, you know me. Will I or will I not rip this airman's arms off his body and beat him to death with a bloody incident? And without missing a beat, I swear, she said, so-and-so reports as directed. Yes, you will rip that man's arms off, beat him to death with the bloody ends of them. And he said, get out of my face. Poof, left face movement. She was gone. Hers was way worse than mine, by the way. And then he comes back to me, and he looked at me and he said, get out of my face. And that's all we're waiting for. We're just waiting to be dismissed. That's the one thing you want to learn is in the civilian life, when somebody dismisses you, you get upset. In military life, that's all we look for. Boom, gone. And that was my story of how I almost got eaten or beaten to death by my own bloody ends in basic training at the chow hall, thinking I is almost out the door. You're not out the door until they dismiss you guys. That's what I know. Now I'm going to dismiss myself. I'm going to turn it over to our primary drill instructor, our runner of this show, the boss of the Military for Military shows, Linda Marcus. Tell us a story and close it out.
Thank you so much, Chris Crawford. You're doing a wonderful job hosting. And thank you again, Aha Broadway, for being our one and only paid sponsor. You guys are so awesome. Chris Crawford, David G. Scott, Clean Comedy, Liz Fresius, OMG. This has been a treat. So yes, as I told you back in the 70s, 1973, I was a wanted woman. And I found it out at the post office, And it wasn't for shoplifting. I got away with that. I go to the post office and his eyes followed me all over. Said he wanted me, pointed at me. It was Uncle Sam. I'm a boomer. You think we said no to men? No. So I went in the Army. Besides, everybody my age had left for Canada, so I had to. Those were the days. Yeah. I went in the Army and they put me over in a town in Germany called Hanau, Germany. It's where the Grimm brothers are from.
Wow.
My parents survived the Holocaust. I hate to be grim, but they told me really grim stories, much more than the grim fairy tales. Oh no, we had the lockdown on grim in our family. Yeah. You know, young people get really clinchy, you know, like sphincter clenching when I say anything about the Holocaust, but don't worry, you know, I got good news for you. My parents survived the Holocaust that did exist. So not that other one that didn't. Now, when I got to Germany, they told me, you're going to count money in a cage. Yeah. So they told me, this is how you count money, not the way you did it at the bank. You put your hand up like this, you put the bills in the middle, you push with the thumb, and you pull with your fingers on the other hand. And now I could win any contest that there is by being the fastest counter. And being a little bit Jewish, I'd much rather count the money to myself than count it out to others. So that career didn't last that long, you know. Yeah. See, the thing is that when in the 70s, it was long before Gloria Allred was on the young girls speed dials, you know, like Liz talked about the girls with those certain hats. Yeah, it was long before Gloria Allred was on speed dial. Us old ladies, we were all red all the time when we were young. Yeah, whole different time. I was a plain Jane in high school, but when they took me in the military and threw me in a foreign country, all of a sudden I became like Gina Lola Brigida. Oh my gosh. Kim Kardashian, whatever, you get the point. I was good looking all of a sudden. I knew that I was going to be standing at attention, but I had no idea I was going to be the focus of it. I had a lieutenant. This is my last comment. I had a lieutenant, we'll call him Captain Ronald L. Reese, because that's his name. And I'm still bitter. I'm not angry, I'm just bitter. I want to clarify. Every time I'd walk in a room where he's talking to all the men, I was the only woman on the post. Every time I'd walk in, he'd be talking to the men. He'd look at me and he'd say, they call me the 60-minute man. I had to hear that so many times. I had it up to here, you know, all of 5'2" of it. And I said to him, what, to get it up? I didn't get demoted. I didn't get promoted, but I got out my feelings and I got a really big laugh from that. You guys, this has been my joy to bring this. And like Chris Crawford reminded us today before we went live, this video brought to you by AHA Broadway is for anybody who is military or a veteran, a caregiver of those, nurses, first responders that take care of our veterans. Share this with them. We all need to laugh. The military is a special group of people where there's a lot of suicide. A lot of people are trying to prevent suicide. Comedy can help. So share this. Let's get the word out. Share this with other military and veterans. We all need to laugh, especially if you've done a lot of things for our country. So thank you for your service, everybody watching, and thank you for your comedy and your service to my counterparts here. Thank you very much.
All right, that's awesome. That sounds like a wrap. There is nothing we can say beyond that. This is a beautiful thing that we do, and it's a AHA Broadway really helps us with it. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for our sponsor. Thank you for the Veterans of Comedy. You guys show up large every single time. And Liz, if we don't put that label on you soon, that's going to be a real crime. All right, see you soon.
Exactly. Thank you. Bye, everybody. I'm going to take it off Facebook.